How you doing, Mr. Gavin Garay? Welcome here for the ECM Sports and for East Coast Magazine. We're happy that you're here and honored that we were able to have an interview with you. We thank to your family for coming out and supporting. We appreciate it. My first question is to you. Who is Gavin Garay?
I would like to say that I'm a hardworking kid who's just always, been very motivated to achieve my dreams and goals. So I'd say I'm a go-getter.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe myself. Yeah.
Okay. That's dope. So, what makes Gavin Garay the person who he is today? Who has become?
I think a lot of it has to do with my family, my parents, and my older brother who couldn't be here. My parents both had, athletic backgrounds growing up. That's where the sports came in. And then also them just always, pushing me. They were never too hard on me,
Right.
especially when it came to sports. They both took a lot of time with me, developing me and really letting me decide. They never forced me to play baseball or play sports. They always let me do, what I wanted to do. And then obviously when I messed up, they were there. They were there
Exactly.
to tell me I messed up.
Just stay on top of him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good that you have a great support system. I just think, family is very important. If you have a support system like that, things will go far. So where are you headed in life? What's your next move?
I try to live day by day. Try not to, obviously I have goals and things like that. Obviously one of those goals is to make it to the major leagues and perform and, live out my childhood dream of being a professional baseball player, which I've already achieved, but, getting to that next level and being able to stay at that level. And then in terms of other things, I want to be able to give back, especially to my parents for everything they've done for me. And, yeah.
Oh, no, that's dope. So please, tell us about Elevate, about your clothing brand. I see you got, the dope logo, the dope hats. So tell me, a little about Elevate.
Yeah. So Elevate, when I was in college, actually at St. Petersburg College, junior college I went to, I started thinking about Elevate. My brother actually had a few T-shirts and I think like a gym bag made up for me.
Okay.
And it was something I always wanted to do. And then when I got drafted, I was just able to kind of put it into motion. And we launched back this past October, on October 10th. And finally we're able to start it up officially.
Okay.
And what made me do that, the vision behind Elevate, it can kind of go with anything in life, whether you're an athlete and you want to elevate your game, you're chasing your dreams there, or you're an entrepreneur. And then even with what you guys are doing here with East Coast Magazine, trying to, become one of those big household name magazines that everybody knows about.
Right. I like that
Elevate.
key word, elevate.
Yeah.
I gotta put that in my vocabulary. I'm gonna elevate now. I got you.
Yeah.
Cool. Another question. So when did you realize that baseball is the path to go for you? Like, when did you know that was gonna be, the path for you?
I think in high school, around my freshman year of high school, I was playing up, and I was actually playing with my older brother. He's 3 years older than me. We were on the same team. My dad was coaching us, and I was able to compete at that level, even though being a lot younger. And having my brother there to push me, and he was always good to me with like his friends and everything. And when I would step on the fields, I just started realizing, I could really, play in college. And then sophomore year, I started talking to Division I colleges for baseball. And I think sophomore year is when it really, when I really started believing I could become a professional baseball player.
So did you start realizing that, okay, the baseball is the path? Once the offers start coming in, the colleges started showing interest, did you feel like, okay, this is for me?
Yeah, it was, honestly, baseball was more stressful in high school for that reason.
Yeah.
So like when you actually stepped on the field and played in the games, that was the one time you could relax, and it was when you're off the field that you were like, oh, I got to call this coach, I got to do this, and that's like where it was stressful. And then obviously scholarship money, all that stuff,
Right.
Those little things that you don't want to worry about as an athlete, you just want to play.
Right. Do you have a dream school?
Yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to go to UNC.
Okay.
And
Tar Heels?
Yeah, and then that was really where I wanted to go. I think we were on vacation when I was younger down south, and we drove by it or something. It was just some place I wanted to go. And
You felt inspired, like, yeah, this is my dream job.
yeah, exactly. I think I was watching the College World Series or something when I was little, and I was like, oh, I want to play for that team.
Right.
Blue was my favorite color, and they got blue uniforms. So.
So you was like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. So has baseball taught you anything in life?
Yeah, I mean, baseball and just sports in general have taught me a lot in life, especially baseball, because as everybody knows, if in baseball, if you succeed 3 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So, being able to fail all those other times, it teaches you that in order to succeed in life, you need to fail first, because you get to learn from your failures.
Exactly. And I generally agree. I think that's my philosophy too. Like, I think you need to fail. There's a lot of people are successful, they fail first, and then the success comes after, because you learn from adversity, challenges, trials, tribulations. So I get you.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. So, I know you had some home runs in your life, but do you remember the age you had your first home run?
Yeah, I do. I was 10 years old. I was playing in East Fishkill, I guess Little League, in my hometown, obviously. And I got up. I'd actually just switched leagues, and we were facing one of the best players in the league, and I hit a home run, so it was cool.
Okay,
moment.
so you showed up when it mattered, right? You showed up.
Yep.
Got you. Now that's dope. Do you feel like first baseman is like the position for you, or you ever just thought about, maybe I want to try a different position?
Well, growing up, I played a bunch of different positions. I used to pitch.
Okay.
Then my main positions were I caught up until high school, and then I played shortstop all throughout high school.
Okay.
So I think playing a bunch of different positions when I was younger kind of helped me, because it makes you better at the position. I think it made me a better first baseman, because you get different almost like attributes from each position, different skill sets. Catcher blocking the ball, shortstop being good laterally and having a good arm. So I think it helps. Playing different positions just makes you a better athlete, and then obviously it makes you more versatile. So now I can play other positions other than first base if needed.
Okay. No, that's dope. That definitely is dope. So why is your favorite player Derek Jeter?
I grew up a Yankee fan.
Okay.
So and the way he carried himself, he wasn't always necessarily the best player. Obviously, he was an unbelievable player, but you got guys like A-Rod, who was on the team, who's obviously Alex Rodriguez is one of the best baseball players of all time, without all the controversy. But
yeah, we know.
But you got a guy like Jeter who carries himself. You never heard anything bad about Derek Jeter, and he was always such a positive influence on and off the field.
Right. And
I think that's one of the things that stuck with me. And when I was little, I used to run around the house saying I was Derek Jeter too. So.
All right. Y'all remember that?
So that's a big part of it.
So, are you a Yankees fan, or are you just you like me, because I'm a LeBron fan, and everywhere he goes, all right, I guess I'm a fan, or you just like a.
Yeah, growing up, I was just a diehard Yankee fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny that I wound up on the Mets.
Okay. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Was you hoping for the Yankees?
Honestly, it was whatever team was willing to give me the chance.
Right.
That's what it came down to.
Got you. I understand that. So tell me where you're from. You're raised at.
Yeah, I grew up in LaGrangeville. Still live there now.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. It's right by Poughkeepsie, New York. It's a nice area. Just good area.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really it. It's nothing crazy about it.
So do you see yourself, as a role model, and what would you tell, future players that want to get into the league, because I know, people have expectations. People doesn't really know how it is, to be an MLB player, to be a professional baseball player, also to go through, different challenges of life to get there. What would you tell your younger self, in high school, about things that you endured this far?
Kind of going off what we were talking about before, I'll tell my younger self not to stress about the little things in high school with scholarships, because everything always works out. Everything happens for a reason. And then I'd also tell myself to be ready to fail before I succeed. Because I had a crazy shoulder surgery that actually I think is part of the reason why I'm successful today. That I kind of persevered through. And I think going back and telling myself that it was almost a good thing that it happened, because it made me who I am today. So I think that would probably be it.
Wow. So your shoulder injury, did it happen in college, in high school? Or?
I was going into my junior year of high school, and it turns out I just had tendonitis in my shoulder, but I went in for an MRI, and they did a dye injection, and it turns out they kept poking me with the needle, trying to find the right spot to put the dye.
Yeah.
And they wound up causing 5 blood clots in my shoulder, and the needle was contaminated, so I got an infection from it. 5 hours after the MRI, I actually couldn't move my arm at all. So probably 2-3 weeks went by, and then I went down to the hospital for special surgery not far from here, and they rushed me into surgery to treat the infection. And I spent a week in the hospital.
So it seemed like you overcame a lot, man. And I think it's kind of cool, like how far you came, and now that success is coming to you, that things like that mature you, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was one of those things that I needed to help me mature,
right.
And I had to persevere through that, and it was hard at the time,
right.
Because I had to rehab my arm, and it's something that should have never happened, but it did for a reason. So I think it definitely plays a part in who I am today.
Right, and I think that's dope, man. I respect you a lot for that. It's not easy. It's not easy. I would say, you have a motto for anybody. What would you say? We give a motto for, like, what motto goes for your life, like you connect to your life?
Well, I think with Elevate, we made our slogan like elevate your lifestyle, because it kind of attributes to everything you do. Like I said before, we're always trying to get to that next level in life. You never want to be like okay with where you're at, get complacent. You always want to be pushing, get to that next level. And I think that's what separates the top athletes and then obviously top business people in the world is they're never happy with where they're at. They always want more, whether it's giving back more, just getting out in front of people more, or, whatever it is.
And I think that's really dope. It was a pleasure having you, definitely we're part of ECM Sports, East Coast Magazine. I want to thank your family for coming out. We appreciate the support. I would like to say, thank you, much respect. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you guys having me.
Appreciate you, man.